Game number 2, Neon with a 1-0 lead over TNC. A chance to sweep the series over this big powerhouse and love in TNC, but here it is. It's the full fight already. Here we go. Disruption, Fortune's End. It's going to land on the 2. They're going after KP already, trying to take out Mars. They've got that shot from Yopaj with the tree thrown from a distance. Comes in via a Tom Brady toss and take out KP. They get one out of it. It was a big exchange. A lot of heroes there showing up in the triangle. Try to get a little relevant with Super Bowl QB. I don't know.
Yeah, good start for Tiny. You know, he is a mid laner. He's playing into bad matchup against the Batrider. His turn rate is really bad. So that's something that he's gonna struggle against. Febby and Tim's trying to set things up. Disruption.
Cure the bounty rune and Fortune's End. Okay. Fortune's End should be purifying flames afterwards. Usual stand from an oracle to steal some damage. Burrow strike in, as well as the arrow that hits onto Tim's. Now getting body blocked by PlayHard. Into the trees he'll go.
Boots of speed. I think he should still possibly die here. One more Burrow strike.
They just need it to hit, and it will. So PlayHard gets the kill onto Tim's, and already 2-0 for Neon.
And I mean, this lane should be pretty easy for Morphling. He should be able to get the free farm, but they're also securing farm for the top lane for Natsumi's Medusa. So yeah, Tim's TP's back to the top lane. Jaunuel once again will be playing a bit more greedier, position 5, something that we've seen in the, I believe, one Southeast Asian game and in multiple Chinese games so far. All you need on this hero is levels with Cinderbrew plus Mystic Snake. You have an ability to actually ignite them, so there's going to be a ton of damage. There's the Mystic Snake, the combo that I just mentioned. A lot of slow, overtime damage.
Nostradamus, predicting it as it comes out. I like that. Something I wouldn't be able to say. And if it's not math, I'm not.
You know, we'll just wait until we have to do the math, then your expertise will kick in.
That's all I've got going for it. Arcane blinks and doing the math. Still just a little bit of a lead right now for Neon. The stacks of sticky napalm on Yopaj. The last time we took a look at him, at 8, this time it's 7, finally gone. He said this is going to be a lane that he might struggle in. How much is that first blood really going to help him kind of
for my cause?
He always has the toss ability. You know, when Batrider gets on top of you. But needs to be very careful about these sticky napalm charges. Toss back into the tower.
And now Yopaj
He's
trying to
burning.
survive. Armel, though, under the tower, in some trouble. He'll fall just after Yopaj. They do end up trading, and then immediately Deville comes over mid to clean up some creeps and get some soul experience.
He will get level 3 from that until Tiny arrives. It's a worth trade for Batrider because he got the first kill, he got the XP and managed to...
Low, KP just burning. This Cinderbrew Mystic Snake combination already proving to be a pain.
Mars really struggles playing into range heroes like a Draw Ranger, something that he doesn't like to play, and this Troll, and this is also a very strong lane. We've seen this combination already. Troll plus some Brewmaster position 5. Again, Cinderbrew into Whirling Axes to ignite them. And now Jaunuel will drag the creep wave. Already trees are cut down. Let's see if he succeeds. Yes, he does. Man knows what he's doing.
Can it look easy with that pull? Only one that we've seen become pretty common.
Structures are fortified.
It's worked out pretty well for Jaunuel so far, cleaning up that entire creep wave, and it's a lane where Mars, as well as the Shadow Demon, are already struggling in.
Mars is doing okay in terms of CS. He's almost level 4, 15 CS, has a bottle. He should probably give that bottle to Vince
picked up by Armel. Immediately, Yopaj trying to TP back under the tier 1 tower, but he stopped the fortunes in from Febby. Yopaj killed off by Armel, and this time it's Armel who's getting the better of the middle.
He has a better hero for sure. You know, just the matchup is... He had an okay matchup still. TA still Monkey King favored against the TA. But this time around, I feel Tiny
Radiant's bottom
is
tower is under
definitely
attack.
not the strongest mid lane hero anymore. Especially after the nerf to his combo, so he doesn't deal that much damage. Slow just cripples him too much.
Seems like there were obvious other choices mid. But
Pano
Yopaj
talked
going
about the
Tiny.
Storm Spirit where they have no real lockdown for him, something that
Prize is mine.
would have probably been a better choice. Tiny, as a mid laner, doesn't really like to play from behind. You want to be able to snowball, get your levels, get the kills on these two squishy supports, Oracle and Shadow Demon. But one thing they have very good for TNC in this game is double support duo that takes care of each other. Like Shadow Demon uses Disruption offensively on Medusa, because that's the target that you want to go for, and then you follow up with the Demonic Purge, so she kind of kills herself. And then you go have Oracle save, play with that.
Sandstorm Fortune's in after the Burrow Strike, now in trouble. Purifying Flames, one last shot from Gabbi.
Gabbi, deep pink, okay. Stuck in the trees.
Healy goes to TP back to the tier 1. Efficiency. Even though probably would have been fine.
I don't think he would be able to get out. Febby didn't have any tangos, neither did Morphling, so had
Blast up on the flame break, and more trouble for Yopaj. 5 sneaky napalm stack, make it a 6th. They'll burn away and crumble. Down to make the rotation and don't catch up.
But his Burrow Strike was on cooldown, so couldn't stun there. I think this Batrider will get out of control, just completely dominating Tiny in the laning stage. He's sitting at 21 CS, Batrider 40 right now. There's already a full 1k gold difference.
1k lead already for TNC. This is similar to where we saw the TA at. I guess you don't get the benefits like the TA did, where you can take such an early growth, but you can certainly play pretty aggressively as you're already level 7 on this Batrider, leading into
Dyer's bottom
boots
tower
travel
is
so
under
far.
attack.
Early boots travel, get around the map, play aggressive, play style we've seen from a lot of these teams. High aggression. Bro? Led to a kill with an avalanche toss to follow up from Tiny. He's working on getting that level 6. 2 levels behind Armel and almost a third. It's really been a struggle.
That's why we were surprised, you know, that they decided to go with the Tiny, because the matchup is pretty bad. You're putting yourself in a really tough spot, and we can see why. One good thing that's going for them well is Medusa getting the farm in the jungle, finds a royal jelly, something that she really likes, you know, the mana region, the HP region, and decides to give one to Tiny. He picks up the region. So far, TNC has been doing a really good job just controlling the runes for Bat.
Shoots in all the way there to be able to wave a flame break. Brings him into the hands of Armel. He'll get another kill. KP getting low. Yopaj and Jaunuel are trying to get something to happen. But Toombs is over here, and they might have saved the Mars, who squeaks away with 20 health. Goes back towards the Brew, throws out a God's Rebuke, but the Burrow Strike
is available.
ends up getting the kill on a KP. Flame break again on the Yopaj, who's got 6 stacks of sticky napalm on him. Rotate over Natsumi.
Yeah, you know your team is struggling when Medusa is forced to TP out 8 minutes in just to help out. She doesn't even have ulti at this point. Batrider trying to steal some creeps in the jungle, reduce the farm on this Medusa. Like, Batrider will be the king of this game. Once he gets that boost of travel, I want to see a BKB straight away. They have no abilities except Stone Gaze that pierce magic immunity.
also have the Yasha Medusa. Medusa's keeping up in farm with the Morphling, which is nice.
We didn't talk about Morphling too much. He's just been silently farming. Now switching to the top lane. Gabbi understands. Yeah, there's going to be some pressure on the bottom. I built my teammates already on the top. Let's push and pressure the top tower a bit.
And that's going to lead to them going after the Brewmaster, trying to take out an Observer Ward before he dies, gets some sort of value with this life. But Armel pushes it to 5-1, and the only death that this Batrider had succumbed to was being under the tower and getting a kill on the Yopaj. So his game has been pretty pristine up to this point.
Dyer's top tower
It's
has
a
fallen.
long road away from that Blink Dagger, as Yopaj really did want the bottle, but lane just not going well enough for him to afford to be able to do that.
What have we here?
It's a tough one. I'd still want him to invest possibly in the bottle unless he decides to bring more clarity. At least he has that oil jelly mana region coming in. Tim's bottom lane. Full drop.
Burrow strike to lead on that one, disrupts Natsumi. They do get the kill on the Tims. They're going to try and pressure this tier 1 tower. At least get an objective while they sit so far behind.
Radiant's
Just trying to farm off the enemy jungle. There are some stacks here for him to take.
A rolling stone.
This could definitely help if he can get to an earlier Blink Dagger. Sure, the Blink Dagger, though, is going to be a massive difference
Radiant's
maker. It will be that bit of initiation, Blink
Radiant's
Avalanche toss, but again, you're going up against an Oracle and a Shadow Demon, which have saves, have ways to really make the fight from Neon that much harder.
You want to be able to just jump one of these two heroes, blow them up instantly. Sand King still doesn't have anything queued up. If they want to keep fighting, Blink Dagger is
It's on Natsumi. They'll bring over KP, Arena, and the Spear that all lands, burning out from the Firefly. Natsumi trying to survive the onslaught that's coming in from TNC. Just does not have the life and just does not have a way to get out of this one. Is Yopaj and Jaunuel going after the Oracle as well as the Batrider, but KP behind them. Spear hits onto Yopaj, who's drawn in too far. That'll land, hit him into the trees, and the Primal Split's now forced out. Bring over Tins, and the side of Neon, they're not
enough
rotating.
damage from Tiny at the moment.
Might be able to get a kill on a Febby, but there's the disruption from Tins. That
Febby still has ulti.
Now there's the false promise. Oracle survives. Yopaj is dead. Jaunuel now back to form. Spear lands. False promise runs out. They do get the kill eventually on a Febby. Nobody coming over
Radiant's
for Neon.
tower is under attack.
And they just allow both the Tiny and the Brewmaster to take this long fight that ultimately leads to both their deaths.
They just don't have enough damage at the moment. Once Sand King decides to join in, he has enough money to buy a Blink Dagger. There it is, just needs to get one more CS and put the point in the epicenter. It's smoke time. Like, you want to get the kill out of this. You would want to kill the Morphling if possible. He's showing up on the map right now. See if they decide to smoke. Brewmaster doesn't have any. Sand King didn't have enough money to actually buy
Dyer's
the
middle
smoke for
tower
himself.
is under attack. Dyer's
the Blink Dagger,
structures
though,
are
on
fortified.
Sand King. If they can make something work with this.
Vent.
Yopaj coming in. Moonlight Shadow.
That's
Strike.
Moonlight Shadow.
Avalanche as well as the toss still under the tower. Gabbi with the waveform, getting some distance. Arrow missing. Gabbi morphs into the Sand King and will burrow strike away. All that used by Neon and no results.
Yeah, Moonlight Shadow used on a mid lane. Morphling could actually see that happening. He instantly uses the attribute shift, and I think this time around, Sand King needed to initiate with the epi. So now they're chasing.
They smoked
Trying
again.
to find the Batrider. He's gone.
Smoked
Dyer's
again, didn't
bottom
find
tower
anything from
is
it
under
yet,
attack.
but they are going over towards mid. Might be able to find Tims, which would be a little bit of a consolation prize. They do have the Blink Dagger now available on Yopaj. The double blink in ability. Tims just not far enough away from this tower. They're still gonna go. They've got the arrow to follow the burrow strike. They have the damage to get the kill on Tims. That's something for Neon. With
Radiant's
pressure
middle
coming into the
tower
mid
is
tier
under
1.
attack.
While TNC continue to get farm on this Batrider. He's got his bots blink, and the Morphling working on
Regeneration.
I believe he's already got that Eagle song. Yes, he does.
That's gonna be a really good Dynamite E-Blade.
Arrow, and now the Blink Avalanche toss. KP just gets blown up.
This is a reveal of Lightning Blink Dagger, lasso.
Pulling in the Sand King, no way to save him. Burning out quick, Burrow Strike attempt away, but there's the Purifying Flames to get the kill. They've also used the Stone Gaze. Now it's time for Neon to run, but the Flame Break keeps Yopaj close to Armel.
Neon needs to back off. They already used Stone Gaze and the Panda ulti.
They don't have Lasso, and I believe Yopaj was trying to get a toss back towards his team. Won't get it. He's able to blink away, and now Neon have fully escaped. Well, not the worst engagement from Neon overall. And Tiny, by the way, still has that bottle queued up, but
Dire's
also
middle
looking
tower
for an
is under
E-Blade of his
attack.
own.
His combo got nerfed in the previous patch, so wants to have more damage
Radiant's top
amplification
tower
coming
is
out from
under
that,
attack.
which is okay. I'm gonna say it's a standard item build, but since Thompson started to buy E-Blade on every single hero, yeah, people are doing that on Tiny nowadays as well. He's really under-leveled. Level 9, 15
Radiant's
minutes
middle
in.
tower is under
Avalanche
attack.
toss on Gabbi, but the worst for
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Tiny experience going. Maybe you can get that with Blink Burrow Strike and the Avalanche toss combo. Promise, there's the same. Moves into the Sand King, gets Burrow Strike out immediately. Now with TT out of PlayHard. They look over, they kill off Yopaj. They've got the disruption that does hit PlayHard. So that stops him from TPing away. They do lose Gabbi, but it costs them two. They get the Morphling, they slow him down, and is this really... I want to say this is just becoming the game plan for Neon, right? Where if you can disrupt the progression on the Morphling and disrupt TNC's net
Dire's
worth
middle
lead
tower is
extension,
under attack.
just to make space for Natsumi.
Still, they lost 2 cores. Medusa is farming. Man, Batrider, I already said that he's gonna be the king of this game. I've decided to buy a 4-staff. I'd still prefer if he just gets a BKB, because they can't touch him. He goes in, but I can understand why, you know, there's still 2 saving abilities, Disruption, False Promise, also like just Fate's Edict against the combo from Tiny will keep him alive. Their initiation is very limited. Now that Mars has a Blink Dagger, it's gonna be much easier. So you have 2 guys with the blinks. So I can understand like why he was getting that
Radiant are scanning.
Blink Dagger straight away after the Boots of Travel.
Now he's got the BKB queued up. Do have vision though. The sentry down, they have the observer. He's in vis, but he doesn't know that he's visible to the side of the Dire. Avalanche toss, and they'll get the kill on Armel. 7-time spree out of his hands and over to the Mirana. They'll work on Febby. They land the stun. They take a second. Good movement there from Neon to get them a very important kill on the Batrider.
M's arrows were on point this game. You know, it's easy to play with the setup, with the Tiny, with the Sand King. You still need to be there. And
Dire's middle tower
that's
is
a
under
full
attack.
mech finished on him. Working towards the Guardian Greaves, just so that his team is a bit more tanky. Tiny with the 3 throw. Checking if anyone is there. Medusa still farming, you know, now at top of a net worth. Manta style finish, going into the Scotty against the Oracle
Dire
heal,
are
against
scanning.
the Morphling attribute shift. Like, it's just too good of an item.
1,800 gold away from the Scotty already. We'll be getting that Quicksilver amulet sent over. Now they're coming in, they'll throw down the arena, they get it on the Brewmaster. KP sold down quite a bit. Avalanche toss comes down from Yopaj. They're under the trap of the Moonlight Shadow. The false promise just in time to save KP. The question is, will it be enough of a heal? It looks like it should be. Burrow Strike hits on Armel. He's trying to run, but now morphing into the Sand King. Burrow Strike back on the PlayHard. Can they get the kill to the Sand King? Yes, they can. They take it out too. The Brewmaster goes the Sand King are both gone. Neo turning tail and trying to get out of this one. Tim's tossed into the air. Yopaj came back into this. They've got a disruption. The arrow through doesn't hit any of these heroes on the side of TNC. And they land the the spear. They get the kill. They'll take out Yopaj.
Armel,
3 heroes
he's diving
gone.
the tower. He wants this Mirana real bad. He knows there's no stun, so he just goes in and actually gets the kill.
So 2 heroes dead.
Lasso.
Armel still has Lasso after the fight. And that's going to be a Lasso on Natsumi. But do they have the damage to get the kill? They throw the spear. Natsumi back up to full mana. They've disrupted Jaunuel, who doesn't have the primal split for 18 more seconds. Flame break thrown forward. That'll hit onto Natsumi as well as the Brewmaster. They'll stop their aggression there as, well, that was pretty close for Neon, but at the end of the day, TNC, they come out way ahead.
I feel like Neon just needs a tiny bit of damage if they get off an
Dire's middle
epicenter
tower
in
has
the
been
fight.
denied.
This is something that we really haven't seen used much. Also, they need to have a better vision fight where they have
Radiant's middle
vision to be
tower
able to jump the Oracle or the Shadow Demon. It's always hard to fight into 2 defensive supports. We've seen that quite a lot. You know, just
Radiant's
having
top tower is
Oracle
under attack.
+1. We've seen a lot of Winter Wyverns being picked up. When you pair him up with another saving support, it just feels very hard for the enemy team to fight into that. It's just it's a mental thing where, you know, like, yeah, I'm just gonna initiate on this guy. Where's the follow-up? Can we burst him? You're putting yourself in a bad spot if you are not able to do it.
Straight heavy now. Armel seen again. The false promise from Febby. They've got the arena down to the back lines of this one. That will be a spear that locks up this Brewmaster for a second. The Burrow Strike hits onto Febby. Can they at least get the kill on the Oracle? Yes, they can. But now coming back is Gabbi. Throws the adaptive strike on to PlayHard with the God's Reef thrown from kpii. But they're still with the primal split. So they've cycloned Gabbi into the air. They'll start their retreat. Neon, they did lose the Veal. Jaunuel in trouble. Blink Spear is there. This should be a second one dead and will be. Gabbi finishes him off with the adaptive strike. And Neon lose 2. Just in the nick of time again, the Oracle gets the false promise off.
It's really hard to fight into that
Lasso on a PlayHard. That means the Sand King's gone. So that's technically a third.
They have enough time to actually go inside a pit and kill the Roche Shadow Demon using those disruptions. Offensively, trying to deal more damage to Roshan. Are they still gonna take this fight? Sankin does not have a buyback nor the epicenter. Arrow will connect on Gabbi. He is 500 HP.
Avalanche toss coming through. Wow. Wait, down goes KD. 2 heroes got inside of TNC. This is going to go sour really quickly. They'll go over to Armel. Natsumi, meanwhile, and they finish off the Scotty, but they get the kill to Yopaj. Febby gets credit for that one. The Veal burning out. He's getting low, down to about 130 health. At the same time,
like, this is a big turnaround of this game. They can get this Roche. Thames will scout things out. Has a disruption on Medusa.
so trying to disrupt as much as possible.
With the buyback.
KP buys back. Fortune's End thrown over at Debio, but they've got PlayHard available. 20 seconds till the Morphling's back up. And now this is a fight where TNC, they have their abilities. Arena. The Demonic Purge in 20. The False Promise is available again. Lasso in 40. So this Roche is going to be contested. We'll see for how long. Up for Batrider, who is now going into the BKB again.
He's going into that BKB for a very long time, just delaying it. Spirit Vessel also done.
Smoke from Neon.
On Brewmaster, that's going to be a lot of damage, a lot of
KP,
mitigating.
he just fought
He
back.
was waiting, man. That was such a good play.
Arrow hits on a KP. They should be able to kill off the Mars. Disruption save again. Can they keep KP alive? He'll get the arena down as well with the first promise. But the Burrow Strike hits from PlayHard. They've used the Primal Split. They've got the last one of the Medusa into the hands of Gabbi. Gabbi now waveform away. As they've used the Stone Gaze, they're going to continue to chase the Zeros on the side of TNC. They'll go for the Shadow Demon. Is under the tier 2 tower, but it's not going to give him enough protection. Teams is gone. Avalanche out as well as the top. Three heroes dead on the side of TNC and Neon. They have evened this game up and potentially given them their reward, which is Roshan.
So yeah, they force a buyback. That was such a great initiation from PlayHard, where he goes in, waits for Mars to actually blink, and I don't think Mars blinked the full distance. So he was still in the range. Arrow.
That's an Axe if they can kill the courier, but not in time. Axe gets delivered. Moonlight Shadow for the disengage. Got a sentry down, but you should be able to spot all this.
25 seconds without Mars. He bought back in the previous fight. Roshan, 1/3 of his HP. Did he still decide to take a fight? Shadow Demon needs to scout things out.
Has been killed.
God. Shadow poison forward.
Oh, this is such a nasty combo.
God.
Soul Catcher into Shotgun.
Blew up the brew, and that
It's always going to be potent. Like, this combination of these two heroes, if they're alive, you need to be very careful.
I push him out of the pit. Again, though, Epicenter in 10. Stone Gaze is up. No brew for 26. Are the Radiant... Are we going to go back and forth at Roche 100 times? I'm so ready for that.
Anna scouting things out with the courier. They want this Roche
TNC.
real bad.
Natsumi and Yopaj are close. They're going for the Gabbi. They miss! They miss the arena! There's the avalanche. It hits on a KP, but they've got the disruption on Natsumi. They get the kill on a Jaunuel's courier. That's something, but it's not what they needed.
Mirana will scout it with the courier just to see that they are actually doing it. Without arena, that's their big team fight. Armel wants to jump in. There it is.
Blink Lasso. It's on Brewmaster. Just came back. Oh, Jaunuel.
Buyback is available, but TP's not ready, so he needs to be careful with the buyback. He needs to walk back straight.
Arrow hits on the KP. He's inside the Roche pit. And there's the toss to throw him back towards the team. KP spear, and that's going to land. Spear. Natsumi though. Nobody else is here for the side of TNC just yet. They'll use the Burrow Trick as well as the Epicenter, and that's not going to be on anything. The false promise committed on the KP. So a lot of these abilities down for both these teams as they look over at KP trying to get under Natsumi's out of mana. More into the Sand King. Burrow Strike hits under Natsumi, but they go after KP. They've got the Burrow Strike coming in for PlayHard. The attempted strike hits on Yopaj. They get the counter to the Tiny, and now they've used that Primal Split to look over as they've got themselves a Cyclone onto the Batrider. Now the stun as well for the Earth Panda. Burrow Strike from such a distance away. The Burrow Strike hits on the Morphling. Can they keep alive the Medusa? This is a real problematic fight for Neon as they've got a double damage onto the Morphling, who's cycling into the air once again. The arena's down as well. The spear that hits on another spear. They get the go to the Medusa, and they'll look for more. Wait for Burrow Strike. Turn back into the Sand King. Midbound. PlayHard. They'll get themselves a third.
Middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
this is where the game actually breaks. TNC with a better initiation. Armel gets a good jump on the Brewmaster, who also uses buyback there. And just the combination of Soul Catcher plus E-Blade is so powerful. Then Sanking lifts his whole combo onto Mars. I think you need to be a bit more patient, like try to go in with the blink. Use Yule Scepter or the Sandstorm to keep yourself alive and then get back out. Batrider still does not want to buy BKB. That's, you know, very concerning. Going
Risky.
into Octarine Core, it's very risky.
Look at this replay. Just the distance he can cover. Once Gabbi's picked up this axe, I mean, the Burrow Strike covers so much ground in the waveform, too. Because he went from, like, in between the Roche pit and those stairs, all the way over to the tier 2 tower in just a waveform Burrow Strike.
One thing Medusa needs to care about is getting her, like, mana down. Also could try to possibly turn off the mana shield, then use the wand charges to have enough mana for the Mystic Snake, and then replenish her mana. In that fight, she was completely out of mana, not even enough to use Mystic Snake, be more tanky. So now Morphling, as that ages, going into S and Y.
Allies disappear.
That seems very tanky, especially with the two defensive supports behind him.
E-Blade still being built for Tiny. He went into the Force Staff. We've got Daedalus next for the Medusa. See if that's enough damage. Potentially thinking high ground hold for the Medusa. How can we accomplish that? The Chrysalis has been finished, but is it enough? Staying right there with the
Dire's bottom
Morphling in
tower
terms
is
of
under
net
attack.
worth.
Radiant's middle
And then,
tower is under attack.
I mean, the big drop off from Bat to Tiny, that is a massive clip. 13.8k to 8k. About 9 now.
Tiny just
Radiant's
doesn't
top
feel
tower
as a
has
core
been
right
denied.
now.
No.
And also his item. Sure, I can understand, you know, Force Staff pusher out of the trouble. But yeah, I think you need to try to go for a scaling item. You will fall off. Medusa, I
Dire's
believe
top
that's
tower is
full
under attack.
Daedalus done.
Yeah. Such a stark difference from Yopaj's last
Dire's
game to
top
this
tower
one.
is under attack. Dire's
He really
structures
popped
are
off in the
fortified.
last game. This one, it was tough for him to play the lane.
Radiant's
Just the
bottom
matchup
tower
is
is
really,
under
really
attack.
bad for him.
Interesting. I guess he.
Dire's top
I thought it
tower
was the
is
Daedalus
under
finish as
attack.
well, but I think he just
Radiant
doesn't have it queued up
structures
anymore
are
and goes into the
fortified.
Moonshard. This
And
is
that's
current.
definitely
Dire's
not the
top
item to
tower
go for
has
here.
fallen.
Sure, attack speed is good, but
Radiant's
yeah, I don't think you
bottom
get
tower
too
is
much
under
out of
attack.
that. Butterfly seems fine, because Shadow Demon will be using Disruption most of the time offensively on you, so you also want to have a miss chance.
Dire's
even
top tower
Be
is
worth
under
going
attack.
defensive in something like a Lincoln's, or is there just so much to break it here where
I
it's
think
not
it's
worth
too much
it?
investment,
Yeah.
and it's a bit too late to go for it. But yeah, buying double Hyperstone, getting that Moonshard is
Easy shot.
huge no from me.
Buy one right now. Which becomes, does this turn into anything else? Would anything else that this turns into be worth it?
Dire's
200
middle tower
bonus
is
night
under attack.
vision. Maybe they want to see more during the night, but I don't think as Medusa you want to invest into this kind of stuff. It could help out
Dire's top tower
against the
is under
initiation
attack.
that they have coming out from the Batrider, but still you don't have any kind of counterplay to that anyway. So once he
Radiant's
jumps in,
bottom tower is under attack.
you're kind of locked in into a team fight anyway.
On tier 3's getting pressured by creeps. That'll send KP back. Moonlight Shadow used here by Neon. Still, it felt like with that victory at the Roche Pit, things fell into TNC's favor pretty heavily. They're only up 3K.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've been talking about it and maybe harping on it.
I mean,
how tiny
I'm
feels.
just looking at Medusa hitting the Ancients. She needs like 10 hits to kill the whole stack, which is something that we don't usually see. Like, it's just not enough damage. Finishing Daedalus first would be much better.
to had it instead of the
Medusa.
Moonshard.
Yeah, just straight up damage is much better.
So
Still, you know, in terms of net worth, 3K gold lead, the Neon managing to find a farm on the map. One problem that I have with this type of lineup is it's really not going to scale that much besides Medusa. You kind of have
Wing Burrow Strike comes in as well as the arrow. They're going to clean up KP potentially, but again, the Pulse Promise is through with the guns on the lasso. That's out on a PlayHard. Hit with the E-Blade as well as the Adaptive Strike. They get the count to PlayHard immediately, taking him out so fast. A look towards the rest. They've used the Primal Split. Neon maybe expecting to do a little bit more. Stun thrown at Armel. He's away from his team just a slight bit. They know the False Promise. They've got the Avalanche. But the arrow misses, but the first strike comes in from the Morphling. That's on an Natsumi who's created the Stone Gaze. And now the Arena as well as the Spear. Down goes the Brew. They lost two. They fall back on PlayHard. He's going to try and get something there. But the first strike hits again. This is Natsumi getting low and in a lot of trouble, but takes out Armel first. Looks over at KP. The damage isn't going to be enough. Double kill for Gabbi. Takes out Yopaj. No more Tiny. No more Sangin. He's gone again. Morphling now can focus his attention onto the Medusa. This is one shot away from getting the kill on the Oracle, but the shield goes down. He's down to the as well as the E-Blade once again. Natsumi low. Natsumi gone. Full team wipe for the side of TNC. And this is actually 6 kills as they killed Sand King twice.
He bought back in that fight. Neon, I'd say choosing the wrong fights for them. Already used the Primal Split to be able to control the Morphling, Medusa ulti. Probably better play would try to be to just fall back and try to reset. But yeah, it's kind of hard against the Morphling who turns into Sand King. That extra cast range is very hard to
Dire's bottom
get away
tower
from.
is under attack.
When we look at the replay, arrow missing onto Armel, who eventually fell. You can just see in the Morphling how much he gets from being that Sand King. Burrow Strike distance so much, like you just said. Like, it just disrupts
Dire's
the fight
middle
so
tower is under attack.
much. Like, he's hitting 3 heroes with these.
He's doing a very good job in the team fights. Neon,
Radiant's
like
top
the way
tower
this fight
is under
started
attack.
when they jumped the Mars,
Dire's
great
middle
force
tower
staff from the
is under
Batrider, and then false promise. Like, the burst damage is really not there compared to what TNC has with Morphling Shotgun, Soul Catcher.
Has been pretty impressive from the Morph. 13, 2, and 7. Blink, bro, strike Armel. Caught not getting the last so often. Now he's tossed into the air, kill. So Armel goes down to BKB's move, pop by KP. They've used the probable split once again. The deal moving forward, but when you just get 2-tap shotgun killed like that, that flap, see you later.
A Glimmer Cape that you still get killed through that. Tiny's chasing.
Avalanche toss with the E-Blade he just completed. They'll take out Febby. It's like the first time he wasn't able to get a false promise off. Oh, here doesn't connect.
Medusa, I want to see that Daedalus completed. I see BKB into Blink Dagger. Like, you can't afford to get Blink Dagger on this hero.
Avalanche toss onto the Morphling, caught with a disruption. Spear, and that will land. Down goes Yopaj.
Because Blink Dagger right now is upgradable to a Swift Blink, most likely on Medusa eventually, but yeah, I just feel if you're in this kind of a spot that you might try to invest into Rapier.
Is Divine Rapier the... it would have to come after the Daedalus BKB, right? Can you afford to go for it earlier than that?
You could. I mean, like, the itemization is questionable on Medusa this time around. Getting that Moon Shard, like finishing Daedalus, seeing how the game develops. You can buy a Demon Edge, see if Morphling will go for Butterfly, then you upgrade it to MKB, or you just go straight, you know, into Daedalus. Both of these have a True Strike anyway, so
Dire's
you're
middle
kind of
tower
covered,
is
but
under attack.
see how things are gonna go. Having a casual Demon Edge in your inventory doesn't feel as bad as like some other choices.
Just an AK lead right now. Morphling ahead of the Medusa. Roche in 4. Both couriers will spot this. Ooh. Evacuate the pit, and Gabbi spots it just as it respawns as he's looking for the exit. Now lose the Brew courier. Built for the Morphling. Feels like Natsumi, he's been trying to get to the Daedalus for a little while. Just 300 gold away. Potentially be the difference maker in this next exchange. Is bought out on it, and now it's going to be coming his way. Trickster Cloak, Illusionist Cape. Trickster Cloak's for the Dire, Illusionist Cape for the Radiant, and a Flicker. So, Illusionist Cape for Morphling. Good amount of agi. A little strength in there. Full 5-man team smoke.
Roshan is up. Shadow Demon scouting things out with his courier inside a pit. So Daedalus already finished, as you mentioned, on Medusa. So this is where the damage is gonna come from. They need to protect their Medusa. 1 Force Staff on Tiny, 1 Glimmer Cape, and the Guardian Greaves. Like, Mirana decided to buy 2 Fluffy Hats after finishing Guardian Greaves and a Sentry Ward. 1 for the Tiger, 1 for herself.
Keep those ears warm.
He just does not want to get blown up by a Morphling.
Yeah.
Oh, Spell Prism as well, found by TNC. I guess you just give that one to the Batrider. And here it is, with the Octarine Core and the BKB finally finished. 38 minutes in. Lasso cooldown, 67 seconds.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Just a lot of cooldown reduction going his way at the moment.
Dire's middle tower is under
Medusa
attack.
needs to be careful. Like, if they get a really good jump before she can get the Stone Gaze off, I'm not gonna say they can take her down from 100 to 0, but
Dire's
they can put her in a
structures
spot
are
where she
fortified.
needs to use the Stone Gaze and just back off after that, which is something that
Dire's
you do
middle
not want to
tower is
happen.
under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Interesting moving from Neon. He spotted Avalanche. That's going to win by belief. They get the cut to team. Look at the Shadow Team. And now they're down as well as BKB. Being popped by KP. They'll go after Yopaj. BKB's going to pop by Gabbi. They shot by double damage motion. And now they've got the last one on PlayHard. PlayHard inside the sandstorm. But is it enough? Fortune Deck comes in late now. He used that Yule to try and survive. But the guys are as well as the spear is there. Gabbi taking off. That's for Natsumi. Who's out of mana, out of time, and out of hope. Down he goes. Gabbi gets the kill onto that one. They'll look towards the rest. They'll take out Yopaj. 2 heroes gone. Disruption will lock up this Mirana. These 2 heroes from Neon are not long for this world. Kill for Gabbi. And, well, it'll be one for Tim's as he bought back. And it will be a full team wipe again in favor of TNC.
Neon does not have enough damage to deal with the Morphling, and Morphling once again picked up bottled DD, so this is hard to fight into. They're not getting inside a bit. Mid lane is actually being pinged out. Like Medusa against the Morph. Morph has, once he has all shifted, 51 armor, which is 75% physical resist. So he doesn't really feel those right clicks coming out from Medusa.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle barracks
tier
are
3.
under attack.
Through the racks.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Demolished at the same time. Coordinated demolition happening inside the Dire base. And back towards Roche. Blink Dagger for the Oracle. So Febby, his positioning a lot easier to accomplish with this Blink Dagger.
Yeah, Febby this time around, he had a really good positioning, got some very nice false promises off. And now back into the Roche pit after taking the mid barracks. That's Cheese and Aegis. Mirana trying to TP to the outpost. It's still not gonna be enough. Maybe an arrow will delay it a bit.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh, Yopaj, he gets it! He's stolen the Aegis! Yopaj showing up just like a rolling boulder, and Jaunuel, he's gone. They get the first life out of the hands of Yopaj.
There's also
He was
Gem on the
perfectly
ground.
in.
Gem on the ground, no one wants to pick it up.
It's big. Takes the Aegis out of the hands of
Dire's
TNC.
middle tower is under attack.
Shizu's picked up by the Morphling. So they've got the Aegis nullified. And you're working with a Medusa trying to hold the high ground, about to get to that level 25.
It was a sick play there from Tiny, but you know, it's gonna keep them in the game a bit longer. Medusa, what is she building? I see a BKB into Divine Rapier. I'm not sure if you have enough time to farm both of these items. I can understand BKB against Disarm coming out from the Oracle. Disruption is something that you need to care about. Shotgun, Soul Catcher. There's so many things to focus on. But yeah, once again, this Moon Shard really not paying off. If it was a BKB into Divine Rapier instead, would have been much better. I think right now Medusa is in the spot where she might need to invest straight up into Divine Rapier just to keep them in game.
BKB meanwhile, Shadow Demons picked up the Ags. Got the charges on Demonic Purge. That Ags is disgusting if you can get to it as a Shadow Demon. Very strong. Brewmaster, I believe he's also looking for an Ag. And the Dagon for Titan. Okay. Lincoln's for PlayHard as he's been the focus of that lasso more often than... About to hit that level 25. Medusa, there it is. Level 25 there. Level 26 for the Morphling. Takes the split shot, uses modifiers. Armel over to the side.
He wants to jump.
Find it. Maybe on Natsumi. These heroes on the side of the Dire, they're waiting over in the wing. If you use that Moonlight Shadow, Armel will go back towards his team away from this Dire side. Febby, he was ready just in case there was a turnaround. Win, not gonna land. TNC posturing, continue to hold their position. Natsumi leading the way. Is this a point where Neon should be reaching out this far, or should they just go back to their base?
Medusa has to get
Dire's
farmed
middle
somewhere.
tower
On the
is
mid
under
lane, she doesn't
attack.
get that much gold. Top is also not in a good spot, so right now Neon just needs to play 4, protect 1.
It has to be out this far.
I don't think you get anything from defending that tier 2 tower. It's much better to just fight into
Dire's
base.
bottom
But maybe
tower
they're
is under
trying to,
attack.
you know, surprise them, see
Dire's
how it's
structures are
gonna
fortified.
go. They don't expect us to do this kind of thing. Get the first jump. Still very hard to fight into 2 defensive supports.
Dire's bottom
The BKB
tower
now
has
finished
fallen.
on the Medusa. So that means work is being done on a
Radiant
Divine
are
Rapier.
scanning.
And the question is, down 23,000, holding your high ground. If you can get there, will it be enough? Feel, go cave. These trees, Medusa with the Lincolns on him from PlayHard. Adaptive Strike pops the Lincolns, now backing off. Needs to be careful of a blink into the lasso. Again, just
A lot of attack speed, you see those numbers, but those are not
Yeah.
big numbers, you know. Less than 600 crits coming up from Medusa at the moment. I don't think they're in a rush. I don't think they need to play like this. You know, just try to farm that Divine Rapier. Roche may respawn in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. But they stole that Aegis, which is actually keeping them in-game right now.
Yeah, maybe not as much confidence as they get. The Avalanche as well. Control the Rosa comes into there. The arena down. And it is around 3 of these heroes. They got the BKB off on the Medusa, turning this one onto KP. They have the false promise that lands onto the Batrider, keeping him alive. And now Morphling trying to go in on this. But it's hit with the Cyclone up in the air. Looking at KP once again with the E-Blade as well as the Avalanche out onto this Mars. Flame Ray pushing them away. There's the waveform over as well as the E-Blade adaptive strike that kills off Yopaj. KP, he's dead. He's got buyback. Buyback comes out from Yopaj. Jaunuel running away from Gabbi, who's going to use that waveform. Has Armel over to the side. Medusa, not a lot of mana to work with, but over with PlayHard. They get the kill onto the Brew. He doesn't have buyback. Yopaj does. He might look for the Avalanche as well. The toss against the toss onto Gabbi, and now the move against him. The Brew brings it in. The Devil give a kill. Gabbi
Oh, the
saved with
disruption save. He's morphing.
He's trying to stay alive. He goes to the waveform. Trying to TP out. They have the toss. They'll stop the TP. Can they get the kill this time? They've got False Promise. But Gabbi, he's away. False Promise used TP attempt. But there's the arrow that hits from this Mirana. They take out Febby, but keep Gabbi alive
Man,
multiple
Febby,
times.
Dire's
this
middle
game,
tower has
he's
fallen.
definitely my MVP. His saves were insane. So how many buybacks did they use? Only 1 buyback. You can see that Medusa still doesn't deal enough damage. Morph is really not afraid. But once you get to that Divine Rapier, this game is still very winnable for Neon.
Look at this replay, and False Promise the first time saves Armel. He's able to retreat. KP's the Morphling, but I think you've won that fight because it keeps Batrider, Mars, and Oracle dead to the point where maybe Natsumi can get an objective and get into the Divine Rapier. That might have bought them enough time. And I think that it should be considered a win if you can get to the Divine
Oh,
Rapier.
for sure, that was a win for Neon. Now they're getting some extra gold on the mid lane. Need to be a bit more careful. Let's see the damage coming out from Medusa
Radiant's
Illusions.
middle tower
Still
has
not
fallen.
that high, but AoE Eye of Scotty is something that they need to be afraid of. It's very hard to fight into that.
I'll take your treat.
Roche, potentially a minute 22.
What they need to do is just stick around and play around the Medusa. Try not to get split up. Brewmaster has 1 job. Either like, it's actually more jobs, depending how the situation is, where he controls one of the supports with the Earth Spirit Panda. And yeah, probably Cyclone the other one. Depends, you know, how it develops. Most of the time, you also want to Cyclone the Morphling, pre-BKB possibly. You know, a lot of stuff to focus on. I don't think you can just go in and try to deal with Morph straight away, because there will be at least 1 save looking at him. So try to take out the supports and deal with the Morphling in the end.
Jaunuel can get into an ad. He's only 500
like
gold
having
away.
those 2 charges, and
gonna be massive.
you want to be in those prolonged team fights. Just control the Morphling, deal with the rest. Now they're popping some Lincoln Sphere on Medusa. At this point, you don't save for buyback.
Spear,
Job.
blade, adaptive strike, down goes Zabeel. He's got buyback. Neon trying to run away, man. The right clicks coming through the something, but he's not finding anything. He's slowed up on the run. Spear hits. That's going to connect. The Gabbi start onto the Medusa. He's in trouble. E-Blade hits and should be dying. But the epicenter from PlayHard, he used it and then ended up leaving. The Medusa's alive for a little bit longer. Ends up dead. Has buyback. They'll find themselves Jaunuel. He's dead once again. He's got buyback too.
It's just a wrong fight to take as Neon. Your Medusa is very close to the Divine Rapier. Like, you take the fight outside of base, you could have waited another minute and get her to that Divine Rapier. It's the item, you know, that could make a lot of a difference, but right now, after using 4 buybacks, it just feels very tough for Neon to win this game.
31k behind, still their hopes lie in the back of Natsumi, who is trying to keep Neon on the path to a 2-up.
Radiant's top tower is under
But it's
attack.
tough. Post over top. Roche is back up and available.
Also a casual double damage spawn, so that's gonna help out with the Roche. Does anyone still have a bottle? No, they sold all their bottles.
Let's see. Smoke out. Getting forward again. PlayHard. The trees. Storm Blink. And the Burrow Strike into the Moonlight Shadow. They need to try and get out of this one. PlayHard on the run. And will give me his Lincolns. And now he can't get away. He does have buyback and will probably be forced to use it immediately.
Shadow Demon X. He also decided to go for a level 2
Avalanche toss, damage coming in with BKB off, but here by the Morphling, waveform right into the hands of the
early Stone Gaze. But what they need to do on TNC is just go back to the Roche, kill it. It's cheese ages plus refresher, possibly on a Batrider. So yeah, now you need to deal with 2 charges of disruption.
Which it's already been tough to deal with 1.
Exactly.
1,000 gold away from the Divine Rapier.
Radiant are scanning.
Courier ready to pick it up if need be. Now making 200 gold. They're in Roche. They'll pick up the Aegis.
Okay, so Shadow Demon picks up Refresher.
Okay.
So there's 4 charges of disruption.
Okay. Jeez.
Potentially, you know. And he already has an Octarine core. Like, Octarine just feels so good on many heroes right now because it's made out of Ether Lens.
The Divine Rapier was picked up. They've got the blink as well as the toss. Arrow misses. BKB pop. That's going to be arena around everybody. They land the spear for the Medusa. Do they want to follow this up? That's the question. BKB already gone. Now looking for an opportunity. They're under the guise of the Moonlight Shadow for right now. I'm still looking for an opportunity.
Medusa is super slow. She does not have Boots of Speed, sold the Power Treads. Decided not to consume the Moon Shard against the Batrider. Like, you're not moving in a team fight.
They need to be careful. This drone's getting hit.
Like, they should probably give Medusa Ninja Gear instead. Like, it's agility, it's some extra movement speed. Leveler is fine, you know, 60 attack speed, but you need to move inside of team fight to be able to deal the damage.
Yeah, if you can't keep up with these heroes,
he's going
you're not
back
going to do
for
anything.
Power Treads. I guess he just wants to consume the Moon Shard, understands that, yeah, 297 move speed Medusa is not going to be able to do it.
Do you just consume it now and pick up brown boots?
And then you sell boots 5 minutes later. Because you are going to have enough money for another Divine Rapier. I think just, you know, getting a second Divine Rapier is the play here. Finishes that Power Treads, some extra attack speed, once they actually get the Swift Blink.
Ags picked up by the Brew finally.
So 2 charges on the ulti, which will allow him to create more chaos. Oh, Lincoln swap.
They go after Natsumi. They've got the lasso, and they have found the Medusa out of mana and out of hope.
That's game.
Natsumi gone. Divine Rapier on the deck. Immediately a GG is called by Neon. TNC. They will open the series up at 1.